Welcome to the second edition of the Aryaka Chat. I'm here with Natraj Iyer, who is our Director of Product Management. We like to call him Nari. Welcome, Nari.
Thank you, Claude. Always a pleasure.
All right. Thank you very much for making time. So what we would like to talk today about is predominantly two themes, cost and performance. So Gartner has come out with a term they like to call enhanced internet. And it's meant to address reducing costs for enterprises when it comes to connecting sites, users, moving away from MPLS. Can you shed some light what that means overall? What other trends we are seeing? Do we agree? And then we'll go into a bit more details later.
Sure. Certainly. I mean, the top trends as far as Aryaka is concerned and the industry is concerned in general has always been trying to improve the application performance using the network, always looking for better ways to connect offices, users, applications, workloads. So I would say the top trends are continuing to be MPLS migration. The second is the mass migration to cloud, whether it's IaaS or SaaS. People are more accustomed and used to consuming services from the cloud.
Right.
And lastly, with COVID and the pandemic, the entire workforce, where we work from, has changed.
Right.
And I don't think it's going to revert back to the old ways. A lot of applications will just run perfectly fine over the internet.
Right.
So it's becoming a very viable medium for connecting enterprises, branches, and users to cloud networks or to data centers.
So quickly summarizing then, MPLS served its purpose, cost has come down, still not the most cost-effective solution. So enterprises were looking at a different means to connect sites, users, and applications. The internet. At the same time, there is still something lagging, it seems, because we have that term enhanced internet. What's the difference between the public internet and enhanced internet? What's the difference there?
Yes, and I think we've all seen PowerPoint slides where you have a little arrow or a line pointing to the internet, and that's the connectivity, right? But what's actually behind that line or arrow is it has a lot to do with your end user experience in the application performance, because you could be going from point A to point B and your ISP, unbeknownst to you, could be peering with other providers, could be, there could be more autonomous systems, BGP autonomous systems in the way. Mm-hmm. So depending on how you peer has a great impact. And what kind of providers you choose has a big impact on your overall performance.
Okay.
So with Aryaka, what we have, what we call as enhanced internet or our layer 3 offering essentially is because of our long history working with carriers and providers, we know who are the top tier providers in each location, in each region, all over the world, right? So we know who has the best performance, who has the best performance metrics to offer us.
Okay.
So by doing that, you can ensure that pretty much you're going to get the best performance out of the internet going with Aryaka.
Okay.
If you were to go with your own provider or just leave your traffic out in the internet, exiting out of your branch, you may have a tier 3 service provider that necessarily may not be able to give you those guaranteed SLAs and so on.
So coming back to the two main themes, cost and performance, you might be able to address the cost aspect by just going out with kind of any type of ISP provider, but you might not get the performance that you envision or that you actually need to serve your customers and certainly enable your employees to be as productive as they can be. You went a little bit already into how Aryaka solves that. So let's double click on that one.
Aryaka is always, right from day one, our POP-centric architecture or cloud-first architecture, as we like to call it, has always been to provide that guaranteed application performance. That's why we built the layer 2 core. Okay. And the layer 2 core has built-in optimization in it, network optimization at the TCP level, as well as application proxies such as CIFS or SSL proxies that greatly improve your application performance. So you get a LAN-like behavior over the WAN. And that has been our offering for so many years, and that continues to be our layer 2 core offering. And recently, we've added the layer 3 core offering to supplement that or augment that layer 2 core offering. Okay. So customers can choose to have certain sites or certain applications, mission-critical apps, especially on layer 2. They don't want to have any compromise or risk any kind of poor application performance for their users going over the internet. And for other applications that can do well over the internet, we have our layer 3 offering.
Okay.
And as I said, because of our unique association with tier 1 ISPs, and we have benchmark results that prove that going over the Aryaka layer 3, much better performance compared to just letting it go over the internet.
Very good.
Couple that with all our circuit-related optimizations in the last mile, such as the ability to do link assure, to do packet replication, load balancing, path selection, and so on. We offer a true end-to-end guaranteed network that enterprises can rely on and trust.
Very good. You mentioned around benchmarks. I want to come back to that, and I think you have some good data points for our audience to be aware of. I think you came up with a nice term, and maybe there's a meaning behind the name on how we call that dual layer 2 free network.
Yeah, FlexCore is the new name that we've coined. FlexCore is all to do with flexibility, right? And with our ability to inspect the traffic, you no longer have to make that decision. Aryaka does it for you. You can choose to have applications that need that high performance on layer 2, or you can have applications go out on layer 3.
Right.
So by offering that flexibility, enterprises no longer have to choose between two carriers, an MPLS carrier or a service provider and a SD-WAN internet service provider. You get it all from Aryaka.
Okay.
And the beauty of it is we make it very, very easy for you with the guaranteed SLAs. Our core uptime on the layer 2 core is 5 nines, and the core uptime on layer 3 core is 4 nines.
Okay.
Right? And if you typically look at the managed solutions that you get for SD-WAN today, most of them will put a box and just build tunnels over the internet, and that's an overlay solution that might work for a lot of customers. But nobody in the industry today gives you the breadth of solution that Aryaka offers in terms of a layer 2 core and a layer 3 core. And all of this is behind the curtain. So you don't need to bother about the complexity about setting up those tunnels over layer 3 and how do I do it over layer 2. Aryaka does it all for you. Nobody in the industry today offers this kind of breadth. And coming back to your point about MPLS, our layer 2 can actually is not a replacement for MPLS. It's actually even better than MPLS because of all the inbuilt optimizations that we have. We do byte level caching. So for example, if you were to pull down the same file from a far off location over MPLS, it's going to take the same deterministic time every time you do that.
Yeah.
But over Aryaka, the first time you pull it down, we have byte level caching at our POPs. So the second user that tries to access that same file is going to get a much faster response because it's being cached locally. So it's a far superior experience comparing our layer 2 with MPLS. And with layer 3, we now have broadened our solution offerings, and we can now offer a low-cost solution as well.
Very good point. So the FlexCore, there is a meaning behind their name, allows for a lot of flexibility from one single vendor. Let's talk about benchmarks. Internet is very good. I run 1 gig at my home. Many business customers can use a business plan. So why should they go with an Aryaka solution? What makes it better, different compared to the public internet?
Yeah, so it's a very good point. And internet infrastructure is not uniform all over the world. You have pockets in the world where internet infrastructure is perfectly fine, right? And there are pockets where internet infrastructure is not so great, right? Or it's developing. So when you have branch offices that are spread out all over the world, and an office in the US or Europe needs to access an office or a factory in China or parts of Asia, you often have this great variance in application responses, right? Performance, because you don't control. Yes, we all have internet at home. We're used to Netflix. We're used to seeing video, real-time communication work perfectly fine, but you cannot guarantee that all the time across all areas, right? So with our unique cloud-first POP-centric architecture, we are trying to minimize that variance in performance by having the short hop to the nearest Aryaka POP, and then from there on going over these long hauls with tried and trusted tier 1 ISP providers, right? And all this coupled with Aryaka's managed service offering, where you don't have to lift a finger, our lifecycle services, are easy on-ramps to cloud, whether it's IaaS or SaaS, coupled with cloud security that's built in with the Aryaka solution. If you want on-prem solutions, we support cloud security solutions. We support that as well. If you want a cloud-based security solution with our recent Secure Cloud acquisition, we can provide that as well. So all in all, it's a complete offering. And insurance is the big word that I want to take away from, right? You can go with internet, but you always need a reliable network to fall back on if things don't go well or as planned.
Right.
With Aryaka, you have that fallback option of a layer 2 core.
Okay.
And with our FlexCore approach, we are pretty much future-proofing your WAN needs as far as an enterprise is concerned. And as an IT manager, you don't want to be, getting that 2 a.m. call in the middle of the night that, application performance for a certain region is not up to its mark. With Aryaka, you can sleep soundly and be rest assured that your application packets are getting across reliably.
So we even care about the health of our customers. So we let you sleep. So in summary, any parting words?
Yeah, I would summarize it in simple terms, right? When you're transitioning from MPLS to SD-WAN, there is always the fear factor. What if, right? So with Aryaka, you can take that leap of faith jump, because you know that Aryaka has got your back with our FlexCore solution. You have layer 2, layer 3. If layer 3 does not work out, you can fall back on layer 2, which is a far superior solution. So we've got your back either which way. Right?
Very good. Nothing else to add? Till next time.
Thank you.